Hello everyone, welcome to the ITLS Academy. Today's lecture is on the topic Food Safety and Standard Act 2006. So basically let's understand what is FSS Act 2006. Actually the act provides for consolidation of laws relating to the food and to establish the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India for laying down science based standards for the articles of food and to regulate their manufacture, storage, distribution, sales, and import, and to ensure availability of the safe and wholesome food for the human consumption. So, here are some of the salient features of the Act that includes the movement from multi level and multi department control to a single line of command, FSSAI as a single preference point for all the matters relating to the food safety and standards, regulations, and enforcement. It includes the integrated response to strategic issues like novel food, health foods, nutraceuticals, GM foods, international trades, etc. It also includes the decentralization of the licensing of the manufacture of the food products, achieves a high degree of consumer confidence in quality and safety of the food. It is effective, transparent, and accountable regulatory framework within which the industry can work efficiently. It also includes the investors friendly regulatory mechanism with emphasis on self regulation and capacity building. It emphasizes on gradual shift from the regulatory regimes to the self-compliance, consistency between the domestic and international food policy measures without reducing safeguard to public health and consumer protection, and adequate information dissemination of the food to enables consumer to make informed choice. So the Act inter alia incorporates the salient provision of the Prevention of the Food Adulteration Act in 1954 and is based on the international legislation and instrumentalities. In a nutshell, the Act takes care of international practices and envisages a overreaching policy that framework and provision of a single window to guide and regulate person engaged in manufacture, marketing, processing, handling, transportation, import, and sale of the food. So, in this regard, there are some new provisions that were made in this act, and it is includes the following part, that it includes the covering health food supplements, nutraceuticals. It is issuing license within a time frame of 2 months, provision of improvement notice by designated officers, prosecutions if to be launched should be within 1 year frame. It consists of a special court for summary trials, compensation to victims are provided, reward to informer, that is the informing about the violators, adulteration, etc. by the state government, one composite license for unit falling under one area. It includes the training and awareness programs for food business operators as well as the regulators. It encourages self-regulation through introduction of food recall procedures. No license for small food business operator, only registration is mandatory. And it is also includes the central licensing from authority. So these were the new provisions that were included in this act. And the major, let's talk about the major deviation from the existing regulation and the implications of the changes. The changes in first in point includes the changes in definition. That includes the FSSA adulterant that define as any material which is or could be employed for making the food unsafe or substandard or misbranded or containing the extraneous matter. So here the misbrand includes the term that means an article of food with which contains the false or misbranding or deceptive claim either on the label or the packaging or the throughout advertisement. Misbranding also includes if the particle is sold as an imitation of, or is a substitute for, or is likely to device, or the packaging bears a statement, design, or device regarding the ingredient or the substance contained therein, which is false or misleading. So these are the points on which the misbranding of an article is decided. Manufacturer's name and address is also included as a false information if it is not true, and also contains any artificial flavoring, coloring, or chemical preservatives, and is not labeled properly as per the requirement of the law, and it should not be prescribed in the wrapper. So it is also included in the misbrand of that particular product. In this definition, the next term is the substandard. Substandard is defined as an article of a food shall be deemed to be substandard if it does not meet the specific standards but does not render the food unsafe. And the unsafe here means the article of the food which is injurious to health by itself or the package. Therefore it should, if it is unsafe, it consists of wholly or in a part or a filthy, putrid, rotten, decomposed, diseased animal substance or vegetable substance. It is considered as unsafe if it is processed unhygienically, or the article of the food has harmful substance in it, or is infected or infested with the worms, weevils, or insects. It could also be contributed to unsafe as if it is has been substituted by inferior or cheaper substances, whether wholly or in a part, and if a substance directly or as an ingredient or an additive which is not allowed under the law, if it is used in that product, that would also be included in unsafe food. And by virtue of being it's prepared, packed, or kept unsanitary condition, or it is not clearly maintained position, so that would also be included in the unsafe food material. It could also be included by virtue of being misbranded or substandard, as I told, or food containing extraneous matter or pesticides, other contaminants in excess quantity specified by the regulation. That conditions also included in the unsafe food material. So here the definition, what is adulterant, that includes the misbranding, substandard, unsafe. I have cleared you. Next is your advertisement, how the definition changes. So any audio or visual publicity, representation, or pronouncement made by means of any light, sound, smoke, gas, print, electronic media, internet, or website, and includes any notice, circular, label, wrapper, invoice, or other documents. So advertisement is also included in the change in the definition. Next is your food. Any substance, whether processed, particularly processed, or unprocessed, which is intended for human consumption and includes primary food, that is all raw produce except those in hands of the growers, farmers, fishermen, genetically modified, engineered food, or food containing such ingredient, infant foods, packaged drinking water, and we talk about alcoholic drink, chewing gum, and any substances including water used in the food during its manufacturing, preparation, or treatment, but does not include any animal feed, live animal, unless they are prepared or processed for placing on the market for human consumption. Plant prior to harvesting, drugs and medical products, cosmetic, narcotic, physiotropic substances, these are also included in that, provided that the central government may declare by notification in the official gazette any other article as food for the purpose of this act, having regards to its use, nature, substance, or the quality. Next is your food business. Here it means that any undertaking, whether for profit or not, and whether public or private, carrying out any of the activities related to any stage of the manufacture, processing, packaging, storage, transportation, distribution, food import, and includes food service, catering service, sales of the food or food ingredients, that all included in the food business. Next point is your food operator, means a person by whom the business is carried on or owned and is responsible for ensuring the compliance of this act, rules and regulations made thereunder. Next is your manufacture, means a process or adoption or any treatment for conversion of ingredient into an article of the food, which includes any sub process, incidental or ancillary to the manufacture of an article of the food. Last is your manufacturer, FSSA, means a person engaged in a business of manufacturing any article of the food for sale and includes any person who obtains such article from another person and packs and labels it for sale or only labels it for such purpose. Next, let's talk about the changes in the provision. So there were many changes in the provisions made, and the first sample analysis, which comes under the section 47. Okay, now here if we talk about when a food safety officer takes a sample of a food for analysis, he shall give notice in writing, means he give notice in writing of his intention to have it analyzed to the person from whom he has taken the sample and to the person if any whose name, address and other particulars have been disclosed. Now, next is it divides the sample into four parts and mark and seal as it nature permits, which means except in special cases as many be provided by rules divided by the sample into four parts and mark and seal or fasten up each part in such a manner as it nature permits and takes the signature or thumb impression of the person from whom the sample has taken. If such person refuses to sign or put his thumb impression, then the food safety officer shall call upon one or more witness and take his signature or thumb impression in behalf of the signature or thumb impression of such person. Then he has to send one of the part for analysis of the food analyst under the intimation to the designated officer, and out of that four part he has to send two parts of the designated officers for keeping this in safe custody and send the remaining parts of the for analysis to an accredited laboratory if so requested by the food business operator under intimation to the designated officer, provided that if the rest report received under the sub clauses are found to be at variance, then the designated officer shall send one part of the sample in his custody to referral laboratory for analysis if he feels whose decision thereon shall be final. And at last, when the sample of any article of the food or adulterant is taken, the food safety officer shall, by the immediate succeeding working day, send the sample of the food to the food analyst for the area concerned for the analysis and report. And where the part of the sample sent to the food analyst is lost or damaged, then the designated officer shall, on requisition made to him by the food analyst or the food safety officer, dispatch one of the part of the sample sent to him to the food analysis for the analysis. In case of imported articles of the food, the authorized officer of the food laboratory for analysis who shall send the report within a period of 5 days to the authorized officer. At last, the designated officer, the food safety officer, the authorized officer and the food analyst shall follow such procedures as may be specified by the regulations. Next is the administration at the central government level, means what are the members who are there in the administration at the central government level. It includes 22 members authority representing various stockholder, chairperson and chief executive officer, 8 scientific Panel and Scientific Committee, Central Advisory Committee, Separate Scientific Division, Surveillance, Regulatory and Quality Assurance Division, Referral Laboratory and Food Laboratories, Codex Cell to handle international matters, import safety, novel foods, nutraceuticals, GM food approval, fixation of the standard and guidelines for the food, labeling and advertising norms. So these are the administrations which can include in the central government level. Next, let's talk about the new concepts and their legal implications. So the central government, the state government, and the food authority and the other agencies, as the case may be, while implementing the provision of this act, shall be guided by the following principles. The food authority shall, while forming regulations or specifying standard under this act, take into account prevalent practices and conditions in the country, including agricultural practices and handling, the storage and the transport condition. It ensures that there is an open and transparent public consultation directly or through representative bodies, including all levels of panchayats, except where it is of opinion that there is an urgency concerning food safety or public health, or to make or amend the regulation, in which case such consultations may be dispensed with. That is, the provided that such regulation shall be in force for not more than 6 months. It also ensures the protection of the interest of the consumer and shall provide a basis for consumers to make informed choice in regulation of the food they consume. It ensures the prevention of, first, the fraudulent, deceptive or unfair trade practice which may mislead or harm the consumer, and also unsafe or contaminated or substandard food is also regulated under this. Next, let's talk about the new provisions. There were some new provisions that were made, and some developments of sections 22, 25 and 29 were made under this. So the first section 22 is the special purpose food. Here is we talk about save as otherwise provided under this act and the regulations made thereunder. No person shall manufacture, distribute, sell or import any novel food, genetically modified articles of the food or irradiated food, organic food, foods for special dietary uses, functional food, nutraceuticals, health supplements, proprietary foods, and such other articles of the food which the central government may notify in this behalf. Separate regulations for each of them are being framed for this category. So if you want to sell these types of product, then you have to take your registration from the other sections that governs the sale of the particular product, and these were the sections that I have discussed for a particular food in our previous lectures, that for the, if you want to sell the GM foods, or if you want to sell the irradiated or functional food, nutraceuticals, for these selling products, the another types of government issues, government registrations are to be done, and you have to follow that. Next is the provision relating to import that comes under the section 5, and all import of the articles of the food to be subjected to this act includes that no person shall import into India as any unsafe or misbrand or substandard food or food containing extraneous matter, any article of food for the import of which a license is required under any act or rule of regulation or except in accordance with the condition of the license, and any article of the food in contravention of any other provision of this act or any rule of regulation made there under any other act. So these are the product no person shall import into the India. Next is the central government shall, while prohibiting, restricting or otherwise regulating import at articles of the food under the Foreign Trade Act 1992, follows the standard laid down by the Food Authority under the provision of this act and the rules and regulations made thereunder. Last is the all imports will come under central licensing, and an existing importers also need to be registered under the central authority, and all imported products will be screened for safety parameters by an IT enabled food safety system as a new initiative under the FSSA. So these are the regulations, these are the point that is considered under this relating to import of any of the food. If you want to do in India, you have to follow these guidelines and take a permission from a restricted department. Next is the responsibility of authority for enforcement of the act, and it comes under the section 29. Enforcement of the act will be done through commissioner, designated officer and food safety officer. The food authority and the state food safety authority shall be responsible for the enforcement. They shall monitor and verify that the requirement of a law being fulfilled by the FBO at all stages of the food business or not. Authorities shall maintain a system of control and other activities as appropriate to the circumstances, including public communication on food safety and risk, food safety surveillance, and monitoring covering all stages of the food business. This FSO shall enforce and execute within their area the provision of this Act with respect to the which the duty is not imposed expressly or by necessarily implications on the same other authority. Next, last is the regulation under this Act shall also specify which of the food safety officer are to enforce and execute them generally or in relation to cases of a particular description or a particular area. Next, let's talk about the administrative setup at a state level. Here, the enforcement of the Act would be through the State Commissioner of the Food Safety and his officer and the Panchayati Raj municipal body. It is also proposed that food analyst, chief food analyst, and joint director may be posted at district level, zonal level, and state level offices in rotation with their posting in the laboratory. So their transfers could be done in monthly by monthly. These officers will act as a coordinators between the between the commissioner in identification food laboratories and the research institute for testing and calibration of any other accreditations agency to be notified by the food authority for the purpose of carrying out analysis of the samples. These officers will also play a role in policy making, formation of a scheme related to development of laboratories including infrastructure, well qualified staff, training of existing staff, and may be entrusted with any other work related to food safety management with food surveillance, food recall, incident reporting, food terrorism, and rapid alert system as directed by Food Safety Commissioner. Thank you for being with us. For more information, please log on to our website www.itlsacademy.com and register yourself for the particular course. And yes, do follow us on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, LinkedIn. And yes, do not forget to subscribe our channel ITLS Academy at YouTube. Thank you.